Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In our last class, we did unit number 3 from New Oxford Modern English, book 7. Today, we will continue that. Unit number 3, the story of an invitation. We have read up till that Bertha has just got a letter of invitation from her Aunt Meg to spend her holidays with her. And now let's see what's the reaction of Grace. How delightful it must be to have friends like that, to love you and plan for you, said Grace wistfully. Wistfully, sadly. And why she said all this so sadly? Because Grace has no family. I'm sure you will have a pleasant vacation, Bertie. As for me, I'm going into Clackman's bookstore until school reopens. I saw Mr. Clackman today and he agreed to take me. और Grace क्या करने जा रही है? She has to work a lot at a bookstore to meet all her expenses. Bertha looked surprised. She had not known what Grace's vacation plans were. I don't think you ought to do that, Grace, she said thoughtfully. You're not so strong and you need a good rest. It will be awfully trying to work at Clarkman's all summer. To work at a bookstore during the whole summer is really very tedious. There is nothing else for me to do, said Grace, trying to speak cheerfully. You know, I'm as poor as the proverbial church mouse. Proverbial church mouse, it's a symbolic of a mouse that is deprived of food and starving. Bertie, and the simple truth is that I can't afford to pay my board all summer and get my winter outfit unless I do something to earn it. I shall be too busy to be lonesome, and I shall expect long, newsy letters from you, telling me all your fun, passing your vacation on to me at second hand. You see, well, I must set to work at those algebraic problems. I tried them before dark, but I couldn't solve them. अब वो बात चेंज कर रही है ना, तो she just wants to leave. बात टॉपिक चेंज करना चाह रही है. My head ached and I felt so stupid. How glad I shall be when exams are over. I suppose I must revise that senior English this evening, said Bertha absently. But she made to move to do so. She was studying her friend's face. How very pale and thin Grace looked, surely much paler and thinner than when she had come to the academy, and she had not by any means been plump and rosy then. Because she has to meet all her expenses herself. कोई नहीं है उसको लुक आफ्टर करने वाला या उसके एक्सपेंसेस पूरे करने वाला, तो उसे बहुत ज़्यादा एफर्ट करनी पड़ती है स्टडीज़ में भी और अपने एक्सपेंसेस पूरे करने के लिए भी. I believe she could not stand 2 months at Clackman's, thought Bertha. If I were not going to Aunt Meg's, I would ask her to go home with me, or even if Aunt Meg had room for another guest, I would just write her all about Grace and ask if I could bring her with me. Aunt Meg would understand. She always understands, but she hasn't, so it can't be. So what she has thought here, she has planned that if she goes home, then she will take Grace with her. And if not, then she will request to Aunt Meg कि वो Grace को भी आने दें. But she knows that Aunt Meg has told in the letter that 3 girls are already there and there is only room for 1. So let's see what happens then. Just then a thought darted into Bertha's brain. अब एक उसके माइंड में ज़बरदस्त आइडिया है. What nonsense, she said loudly, so suddenly and forcibly that Grace fairly jumped. What is? Oh, nothing much, said Bertha, getting up briskly. See here, I'm going to get to work. I have wasted enough time. She curled herself up onto the divan and tried to study her senior English, but her thoughts wandered hopelessly, and finally she gave it up in despair and went to bed. There she could not sleep. She lay awake and wrestled with herself It was after midnight when she sat up in bed and said solemnly, I'll do it. Next day, Bertha wrote a confidential letter to Aunt Meg. She thanked her for her invitation and then told her all about Grace. And what I want to ask, Aunt Meg, is that you will let me transfer my invitation to Grace and ask her to go to the Riversdale this summer in my place. This was the plan. Don't think me ungrateful. No, I'm sure you won't. You always understand things. You always understand things, but you can't have us both. And I would rather Grace should go. It will do her so much good, and I have a lovely home of my own to go, and she has none.